Today I'm going to give you an update on our mealworm enterprise. I'm about to feed the mealworms, and it's kind of cool because there's so many mealworms. You'll see that they really go for the water that we throw in. We've experimented with a lot of different ways of feeding and watering the mealworms, and we use a wheat bran for the food and also some bread. The bread is also a food/water source, and we found that better than putting in paper or something to put below the water to keep the food from getting moldy, because they'll eat it and it won't mold. This is mostly for when you have a lot of mealworms, and they'll suck down the moisture like within a day, so it really doesn't even have a chance to mold. But anyway, let me show you how it goes. So we get flatbread salvage and pepper salvage from the food bank and other food sources that I have for the worms. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down some bread, and then on top of that we'll put the slices of pepper. Most people use carrots and potatoes, and they work good because they don't dry out real fast. But they don't usually get completely consumed, and you end up picking them out later. And sometimes they do get moldy because they get dragged down into the food. We'll come back to these in a second. Like right here, they're starting to get into that one that I put a few minutes ago. But I'm going to go through and feed these real quick, and then we'll come back to it. A lot of our bins here, as you can see, I'll show you here, we've got dates on them to show how old they are. And so like these 818s, there's probably about 30,000 in each one of these. And then we got 825s, 92s, and then 916s. We have a whole nother room that has our younger mealworms and our beetles. And we'll do a video of that later. Yeah, this was just our original room that we set up. It's in my shop, and it's about 72 degrees. Certain times it gets hotter, and sometimes it gets colder. These guys can tolerate quite a temperature difference, but they can't be outside so much in the wintertime. But let me finish spreading the bread. I'm going to show you real quick. They get really active right away. They can sense the moisture in the bread. I mean, within a minute they're just going to town under that. And they'll get this down to just a shell in an hour or so. And a lot of times we'll use the bread instead of throwing them more food, because we'll like to get this right. This one's got plenty of food, but we'll when they get close to finishing their food, we like them to completely finish it so we can get the frass out cleanly. We found that wheat bran also does a really clean frass. We'll do another video on the value of the frass. Insect frass has chitins in it, and it's quite valuable in your plant mixes. One of the reasons we like feeding them peppers also is they'll eat the pepper down just to a thin little skin. So there's very little waste, and it all gets added into the frass. We found that by watering this away, we also find less dead mealworms. As these ones get older, they start pupating and then turning into beetles. Once they get to that stage, we start moving them into another bin. And we let our beetles sit in the bins for a week. Let's see. And then each week we filter out the food and collect the eggs, which we'll do on another video. Lots of work going on. Alright, that's just a quick video on how we water our mealworms.